Go! What's going on, guys? Bearded Wretch here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over first-time gun ownership. So if you're new to the 2A community, first off I want to say welcome. But this is a video of, okay, I'm ready to purchase my first gun. What do I do? What do I look for? What's kind of the process in doing that? You know, stuff like that. That's what this video is for. I'm going to kind of give you guys my experience. I kind of thought about making a video. So if you're out there and want to buy your first gun, hopefully this is helpful. If it's not, great, leave a thumbs down. But if it is helpful, leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section below of things you've gone through buying your first gun, troubles you've gone through, stuff like that. But let's get into it. So the first thing when you're looking at buying a firearm is, what's the role that I'm going to put this firearm into? And what I mean by that is, how are you going to use this gun? Is this going to be a nightstand gun? Going to be a truck gun? Are you going to carry it on you every day? Determine that, because that really determines on what kind of gun you buy ultimately, because guns are tools and they're made for specific reasons. Now, tools can fit a whole bunch of different uses, like a screwdriver can be used as a pry bar, and it's a pretty good pry bar, but it works better as a screwdriver because it was designed as a screwdriver. So an example of that is Glock 17. It's an excellent firearm. I can conceal this, I can carry it, I can leave it in my nightstand, I can leave it in the glove box of my truck, I can throw it in an inside the waistband holster and carry it around. Is it the best for that? No, it prints a lot and it's bigger and bulkier and more suited in an outside the waistband holster as a fighting pistol, but it can be forced into that role. My Glock 48, for example, it's a thin gun, shorter grip, better lines, shorter barrel. This fits better inside the pants, inside the waistband. I can conceal it a lot easier. So if I'm wanting to conceal a firearm, this is going to be a better option. Now, I can use this as a nightstand gun. I can use it as a fighting pistol and an outside the waistband holster. It will fit that role, but it's best designed as a concealed carry firearm. So that's what I mean by determine what you're going to use the gun for, and then find a couple of firearms that fit that role, and then go from there. So the next step, once you found your gun, so it's like, okay, I found 3 guns that I'm looking at purchasing. A Glock 48, a SIG 365, and a Taurus G2C. Great. Next step, go pick up those guns. If you know a buddy that has those guns, great. See if he can let you shoot them. If you don't, go to a local gun shop, gun show, pawn shop, something like that, and see if they have them. And what you're going to do is take them out of the cabinet, play with them. You know, put them in your hand, see how they feel, you know. Find a spot on the wall, come up on target. Okay, great, that came right into my vision. I didn't have to like neck or do weird things with my shoulders, chicken wing. I didn't have to do anything funny like that. The gun came up, it pointed naturally, fits great in the hand, it's small, it's what I want. Fantastic. Do that with the different guns that you're thinking about purchasing. Ask the gun shop owner if he has any recommendations. Ask and see what he carries. We're all built differently. We all have different tastes. We all have different feelings, you know, our risks go different directions, stuff like that. You want to get a gun that fits you best and a gun that you're going to carry. That's the most important part. Don't let some gun shop owner go, oh, you don't need that, just carry a revolver. You know, all you need is 5 rounds and all this, you know, ridiculousness that you'll hear from people. Find a gun that fits best for you and that you will carry. Now, when it comes to the cost of the firearm, you can get a $150 gun, you can get a $2,000 gun. Find a gun that fits best in your budget. Now, with that, I would recommend save up for a better gun. If you only have $300 saved up, I would save up a little bit more and delay it just a little bit longer and get something good than go ahead and just buying the first thing you find that's cheap. Because yes, high points work. I know friends that have high points. They shoot them. They've never had a problem out of them, stuff like that. But the gun rattles. It's cheap. It's inexpensive. It's not a great gun. It's good. It's better than a pointed stick for sure. But they're bulky, they're awkward, and they're just not great guns, especially for you first-time gun owners out there. So what I'd recommend is save up for a decent gun. I'm a big Glock guy. SIG makes a good gun. Smith & Wesson makes a good gun. And those guns run anywhere from $300 to $600. You can get a really solid, well-built, reliable firearm for in that price range. So anyway, you found your gun, great. Now what? So I found the gun I want. For example, I want this Glock 48. Found it, know what I want. I go to the gun shop, gun show, wherever it is, and you go, Mr. Store Owner, I want to buy that gun. He's going to ask you for a couple things. He's going to ask you for a driver's license or a state ID. So you need to be over the age of 21. This is for the state of Tennessee specifically, because this is where I live. You need to be over the age of 21. You need to be a U.S. citizen, and you cannot have a criminal record or history. So if you check all those boxes, you're good to go. You hand him your driver's license, state ID, handgun carry permit if you already have it, that's fantastic. And he'll enter in all that information on there. And then he'll hand you either a piece of paper or a laptop, and you'll do what's called a 4473. That is an information form. It's a government form that you'll fill out. You'll fill out all this information, your current address, height, weight, eye color. If you've ever been convicted of a felony, are you the actual buyer transferee of this firearm? Have you ever renounced your citizenship? Do you have mental health issues? Yada, yada, yada. There's a bunch of questions you check yes or no to. Answer it honestly. That's the big thing. And then at the bottom, you'll sign it, date it, and you'll hand it back to them. So once you hand it back to them, there'll be a little bit of a process. They'll go through and they'll run your information, and they're going to check to see if you're a criminal. So one of two things will happen. You'll get a thumbs up and you'll pass, which is fantastic, or you'll get a thumbs down, which you'll be denied. If you get denied, it's not a big deal unless you're a criminal. But if you're not a criminal, don't worry about it. Don't stress it. It happens. I've seen on-duty uniformed police officers get denied a firearm right there at a gun shop. Clearly, they're not criminals. So what you can do is you can appeal it. So I believe you have 30 days in the state of Tennessee to appeal it. Most of the time, you can call them up right then and there and say, hey, why did I get denied? Sometimes the gun shop will actually help you do that. They'll call up and say, hey, Jim Bob got denied. Is there a reason why? And I've seen them sometimes go, oh yeah, that was our bad. We hit the wrong button, blah, 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 and they'll reverse it right there and you're good to go. Other times, you're gonna have to submit some paperwork and do stuff like that and call them on your own. It's an extra step, but if you're a law-abiding legal citizen, you know, it's worth it. The reason that happens is if you have a common name, like John Smith, for example, something like that, and there's a criminal that has the same name that's been causing all kinds of issues, it can get a little blurry because, again, humans do keep up with this information. Humans have faults, obviously, and you know, the conspiracy theorist in me, the government really doesn't want us to have firearms, so they probably don't help that process either. Anyway, don't worry about that. Anyway, you get approved. Great. You get a thumbs up from the federal government that says, hey, you're allowed to now execute your constitutional rights. So you go like, great, I'm going to purchase this firearm. He gives you back your license. He gives you your gun. You give him money. Great. You have your first gun. Congratulations. That's awesome. Now what do you do? Well, your next step is finding a holster. You might have already bought a holster with the firearm, and if you did, that's great. But if not, how do I carry this gun? So there's a few things to look for when you're looking at a holster. You want a holster that's made specifically for your gun. So you don't want universal holsters like, where's that piece of junk at? I got one over here somewhere. Anyway, you don't want, oh, here it is. You don't want a piece of junk like this. This is a cheap universal holster. This will fit any compact, full-size, subcompact, double-stack gun, Glock 19, M&Ps, CZs, whatever. It's junk. They're cheap. You don't want it. You want a gun that's specifically made for your gun because you want it to lock in and hold it. For example, this Tier 1, it holds that gun in. I can shake it. I can do all kinds of things. It's not going to fall out because it's made specifically for it. So find a holster that's specifically made for your gun. And then the second thing to look for in a holster is find a holster that doesn't collapse. What I mean by that is, this is a pocket holster that came with my Ruger LCP2. It's a cloth holster. It's flimsy. There's no rigidity to it. It can fold and bend and go wherever. This holster is made for when I draw that gun, it comes out of my pocket, it flies on the ground, and it stays on the ground. I'm not going to be drawing the holster, doing speed drills, or drawing the gun, doing speed drills, and reholstering with that flimsy holster. That's meant to be drawn. It's going to fly out. That holster's sole job is to protect the trigger guard. That's it. Now, that's the third thing you want to look for in a holster. Does it protect the trigger guard? You want a holster that covers the trigger guard completely. You don't want any part of the trigger exposed Because if any part of that trigger is exposed and you go and cram this in your pocket or stick it in your G-string or wherever you're going to put it, and that trigger gets hit because you were digging for your car keys or scratching your butt or something, you're going to shoot yourself or someone else. And then you're liable for it, or probably have an extra hole that you didn't want. So find a holster that is made for your firearm, is rigid, and covers the trigger guard. That's the most important things that I can tell you to find for a holster. There's a million brands. There's a million companies out there that say, my holster does this, my holster has this new fancy thing. You can hide it in your shoe, you can stick it in your hat, you can hide it in your bra, whatever. There's a million holsters out there, a lot of gimmicky stuff. Do your research. Go and try on holsters. Holsters are like shoes. You got to put them on, you got to wear them, you got to walk around with them to feel how comfortable they are. You're going to waste money on holsters. That's part of it. Obviously, I've just shown a couple that I've spent money on. But you're gonna go from holsters like this is a Safariland leather holster for my Glock 26. It's an excellent holster made by a reputable company. It's built great. It covers all the things. It doesn't collapse. It's made specifically for the gun, and it covers the trigger guard. It fits the categories. I used to carry this on my hip with my 26 before I went to an appendix carry Glock 48, and it did the job. But when I switched guns and switched carry, the way I carry, this holster no longer works for me. So I had to buy a new one. This is like a $30 or $50 holster, somewhere around there. So there's $30. It's just going to be sitting in a drawer now because I don't carry my 26 and I don't carry that holster. So, but you're going to run into that. But if you can find somebody who has a holster that you're looking at, or a gun shop that has a lot of holsters in stock, get your gun and go try holsters. A lot of gun shops will let you do that, where you can go, you can bring your gun in, unload it, obviously. Put the holster on, put the gun in it, walk around the store, sit down, squat, bend over, stuff like that. Kind of feel the holster out. If your shop does that, fantastic. Keep going to that gun shop. They're a great gun shop. If they don't, they might have some reasons why, or they might not have them in stock or whatever. Try to do what you can. Gun shows are a really good avenue for this. There's usually 1,000 people there with all kinds of different holsters from different companies. And that's usually a good place to try it. Now, some of them will let you walk around with it, some of them won't. I've walked around a show before with a holster I was trying out to see if I liked it before. That guy was super cool about it, but you know, play by ear. But try if you can. If you can't, that's just part of it. You know, there's a million of them out there. Try to find one that fits. Now remember, holsters aren't meant to be these super comfortable, awesome pillows that make the gun disappear or stuff like that. They're not really made for that. Now, some holsters are comfortable than others, but they're made to hold your gun, they're made to protect your gun, and they're made to protect you. So you want your gun you want to know where your gun is, you want to know that you have it on you, and you want it to secure that firearm. That's its main role. It's not to make you feel comfortable. So if it hurts, it's different if it hurts you, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, get a good holster. That's all I got to really say about that. Next, you got the gun. You got the holster. You bought bullets, you bought magazines, you bought fancy Trijicon HD sights, you bought all the cool Gucci stuff for that gun. Now what? Train, practice, go to a class. Practicing with your firearm and learning how to use your firearm, especially for your new shooters out there. If this is your very first gun and your only experience, if any, is going to the range with your buddies, get training. There's a lot of Pistol 1 classes and new shooter classes out there that you can take that range anywhere from $90 to $500. It depends on the trainer, depends on the course, depends on the length. There's a whole bunch of factors that go into that, but take one. Don't just go to your basic concealed carry license course and think that your 8 or 16 hours, whatever it is, training is enough where you shoot 25 rounds at 3 feet into a piece of paper. That's not enough. You need to learn how to properly assemble, disassemble, clean, maintain, draw, you know, moving garments out of the way, concealing, carry options, you know, malfunction drills. You need to learn all that, how to properly store your firearm, how to transport it, the laws for the state that you're in, the laws, you know, do you have reciprocity in other states? You'll learn all that in these classes, and it's worth it because you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your firearm at that point, because if you don't know how to properly deploy your firearm in a self-defense situation, why are you carrying it? You're carrying around a paperweight. Like, if you can't properly draw that firearm and, you know, engage a target under stress, under time, you know, in different situations, in different positions, if you don't know how to do that, you're going to end up hurting someone, killing someone that you're not intending to, or hurting or killing yourself. And we don't want that, because every bullet that leaves that gun, you are liable for. So if it hits the criminal, or if it hits Timmy that was, picking up a chocolate bar from the counter, you're liable for it. So you got to make sure that you're practiced, trained, learn how to do it, get used to carrying the firearm, because it's uncomfortable for the first time. The first time you carry a gun, first time I carried a gun, I carried a Glock 22 in the small of my back. Don't ask, but that's what I carried. I didn't carry it chambered because I was still 21, young and dumb. I thought the gun was still just going to randomly go off and kill me, or go on a shooting spree, because that's all you hear about. The gun's not going to do that. These guns are safe. These guns are made. They're tools. They're made to be used. They're made to be carried. They're made to be carried live. That's another big thing. If you're not going to carry your gun chambered, why are you carrying it? I mean, that's a whole nother argument you can get into. Well, I can draw and chamber it and faster than you can do that. Yeah, you probably can if you trained that way, but for the average Joe out there, that's not going to work. In a stressful situation, you're going to be 3 feet away or closer from a target, have to draw, pull the trigger, and eliminate that threat. Adding steps to that is just ridiculous. If you have to draw the gun, charge it, and put the mag in it and load the mag before you, don't worry about all that. Carry the gun chambered. The gun's not going to go off unless you pull the trigger. That's why it's important to have a good holster, so that gun will not go off. And I carry an appendix, so I mean, if that thing randomly goes off, I got a little bit to lose there. So practice, get used to it, get comfortable with it. We all make these mistakes. We all have to get used to it. It's something new. It's it can be scary, it can be nerve-wracking, but that's what the practice, it's what the training's for. So you get used to that gun and learn that I can pick this gun up. I can pick any of these guns up on the table and I can toss them over there, and that thing ain't gonna go off. It's okay. Guns are fun, guns are safe, guns are tools. They'll protect you if you know how to use them properly. So get training, needless to say, get training. So once you got your training done, once you got all that done, you feel comfortable with the firearm, you're starting to carry it, you're starting to feel cool, starting to feel like John Wick, where you can take on the world. Situational awareness is a big thing. Get in that mindset of, okay, well, where are my access points? Where are my exit points in a building? That guy over there is acting kind of fishy, or this isn't a good situation. Build up your situational awareness. Don't just carry a gun and then go off in La La Land and be looking at your phone while you're standing in line at a gas station or something like that. You want to be aware of your surroundings, because you're a responsible gun owner now. You're carrying a gun responsibly. You're carrying a gun legally. You've gotten the training to know how to conceal it and shoot it and run it. So why not be that safe member of society that if something was to happen, you can help defend society? Because the police, they're not always there. So you might have to be the person that stops that mass shooter. So be aware, situational aware, practice, train, get used to it. And that rolls into one of the important things about carrying a gun, with mindset, with situational awareness, is you have to understand that, guns are made to kill. I mean, that's as simple as it is. This gun is made to kill someone. Doesn't matter. It's made to kill. That's what guns are for. Now, any of my guns, none of my guns have killed anybody. Now, if somebody broke into my home, if somebody tried to harm my family, somebody tried to harm me, or somebody out in public and I'm there with this gun, it's absolutely going to kill somebody. I'm going to try to kill somebody. If somebody's harming someone, trying to kill me or my family, this gun will absolutely do that. And that's what it's for. And you have to understand, you have to get into that mindset that if you're not comfortable with ending someone's life, you probably don't need to be carrying a firearm. I've never been in combat. I've never shot somebody. I've never pulled my gun out in a stressful, dangerous situation like that. So I can't honestly speak to it. I've had a lot of training and I've done a lot of practice, and I've talked to a lot of the guys who have had to do that before, and it's scary. It honestly is. If it doesn't scare you, you're probably not normal. But you have to be in the mindset of, my life, my family's life, and the life of these innocent people is more important than that criminal who's just trying to take life. So you need to understand that. You need to understand that your life and the life of these innocent people is worth more than that criminal's life. So you need to be in the right mindset of, I'm going to pull this gun and potentially kill that person. Now, that's why it's important to train. That way you don't kill the wrong person. That way you don't just, some guy's yelling at you because you cut him off in line at Starbucks and you just pull a gun and shoot him. That's not what it's about. Don't do that. If you're that kind of person, you don't need to be carrying a firearm. You probably have mental health issues and you probably won't pass the background check. But if you're a normal, right state of mind, law-abiding American citizen, you have to understand that now that you're a responsible gun owner and you're carrying a gun, you are a first responder at that point. You know, like the school shooting recently. If those parents had guns, I guarantee you every single one of those parents would have went into that school and taken care of business. That's what the Second Amendment's for. That's what the Second Amendment's about. That's what carrying guns is about. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who carries a gun can do that. It's just not, it's not reality. It's not, you know, none of us know how we're going to react if we're getting shot at or in that situation until we're in it. But that's why you train, that's why you practice, that's why you get in that mindset, situational awareness. You know, watch self-defense videos. Active Self-Protection is a great YouTube channel to watch to kind of realize how fast situations can occur, how fast things can happen. Get in that mindset, get the training, get comfortable with it, know how to use this tool, know how to use yourself, know how to provide that security if need be. All that being said, owning a firearm is an awesome responsibility. It's an awesome right that we have granted by God, not government, to own these guns, carry these guns, and use these guns. If you live in a state where you can't do that, I'm sorry for you. Move to Tennessee. It's great here. We love the Constitution. We love America. You know, guns help build this country. Guns help protect this country. They'll be here long after we're gone. So anyway, welcome to the Second Amendment community. It's a great community. It's awesome. It's full of great people. Every race, color, creed, even every gender, non-binary, it doesn't matter at this point. If you own a gun and you love America and you love the Constitution, welcome. I don't care who you are, what you call God, or what color you are. Great. Come on, welcome. So there's a lot of little things to it, guys. That's a pretty long video. I'm sorry about that. And I'm sure I missed a lot, but that's just kind of the brief breakdown of it. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. Email me on the side, whatever. I'd be more than happy to answer anything I can. You know, I like to talk a lot, so it's kind of hard to fit a lot of it into the video, and I see it on my phone. I'm about almost 23 minutes in, so I apologize. And if you stick around to the very end, awesome, great, thanks. I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing a giveaway once I hit 100 subscribers. What that giveaway is, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's going to be something good, probably a weapon light or a holster, something like that. I'll make it worth it. So once I hit 100 subscribers, what I'm going to do is go through my subscriber list. I'm going to randomly draw a name, and then I will message you with that you've won. And if you've won, you'll get a prize. It's either going to be a trauma kit, a weapon light, or a holster. Now, the holster will be specific to your gun, so you tell me what gun you have, and it will be a holster. It will be a Safariland holster, just a basic non-light bearing holster. It'll be 11-1 retention holster in ALS. Trauma kit will be if it's the trauma kit, again, I'm not sure which one I'm going to do here, but we'll figure it out from there. The trauma kit will be a full stop bleed Rhino medical trauma kit. Got all the fancy stuff in it. And then the weapon light will be a O-light, rifle light. Again, I'm not sure which one I'm going to give away for the first giveaway, but that's something I'm wanting to do. So again, once I hit 100 subscribers, this is the first video notifying you of that. So if you made it to the end, congratulations. You know about the giveaway. If you didn't make it to the end and you clicked out or canceled because this video is 23 minutes long, sorry about you. But yeah, so that's the ins and outs of owning a firearm, kind of your first steps to it. We have the Second Amendment for a reason. Let's use it. Let's defend ourselves and our families and our communities. An armed society is a polite society. We can make America great by everyone carrying a gun that is legally allowed to and that practices and trains with it. Welcome to the 2A community. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you stopping by. I've been asked a bunch of questions, including some mental health questions. Hey, don't give up on me yet.